Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the community.
There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, March 12th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ plus evening news show.
Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the queer community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride and Parade and Festival on June 14th. We present Pride Fete in August and Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows all support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader communities.
In 2025, more than 100 community leader anchors will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Bishop Durrell Watkins. First time at the table, and I couldn't be happier. The senior minister at Sunshine Cathedral, one of the most important LGBTQ churches in the world. Hashtag #MyQueerChurch. He's an auxiliary bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current president of the Divine Science Federation. Durrell, Amy Armstrong Live is at Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts on March 22nd. Tell me what's happening.
Amy Armstrong will perform live at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts on March 22nd at 8 p.m. Known for her dynamic performances and captivating voice, Armstrong promises an unforgettable evening filled with music, laughter, and energy. The event will take place at Sunshine Cathedral, located in Fort Lauderdale, offering a vibrant atmosphere for attendees to enjoy her spectacular show. Tickets for this one-night-only event start at $35, providing access to an exceptional live performance. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit sunshinecathedral.org. This is her third time, I think,
I was going to ask you, because it's not her first time at Sunshine.
The first time she brought some beautiful man, some half-dressed beautiful man. He was straight, everybody was sad. And then and then she, I think that's him. And then she came back the second year without him, and so people were sad. And now she's back.
With him?
With him? No, I think not. I don't know. I haven't heard. So probably not. I don't want to give false hope. But she's great anyway. She's lovely and fun, and she thinks she's not. I don't think she's gay, but she loves gay people. Gay people love her, and she puts on a really, really good show. What I'm excited about, though, is not just this show, but all of the shows, because that is, for us at Sunshine Cathedral, that's a service for us. Mm-hmm. The cathedral is a community place. And so, yeah, some people like to come on Sunday morning and do it all formally, but some people like to laugh, and some people like to sing, and some people like to have refreshments at the concession area. And there's lots of places for community to build. And what we want to do is build community. And for some people, that's going to include some religious language. For other people, it's not. But what we want is for queer people to get together, love each other, love themselves, and feel good about their community. And so this is a religious commitment for us, even though you don't hear anything about religion when it's happening. And she's a really good example of this. That's why she keeps coming back. She gives people hope. She gives people joy. She gives people a chance just to be. And that's why we do it at all.
Well, I love Amy. I think she's hysterical. Like, she is so funny. I don't know if it was the last time or the next to last time that I had seen her. And I didn't know what to expect, you know, but she was funny. She was entertaining. She loved the gays. She's an incredible ally.
Beat like a drag queen.
Like, beat like a drag queen. Like, or a drag queen would be like, you painted good, girl.
Yes.
Like that, you know. Let me give you a big virtual hug to you, Durrell, and everybody over at Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts for bringing us live entertainment, right? For bringing us allies. You know, I've seen Christopher Hamblin. I have seen Latrice Royale. I have seen Alexander Zenos. I have seen so many people on your stage. You know, Caroline Ray. I have seen so many people on your stage, and you don't expect it, right? You know, and then you go and you have an incredible time among other queer people that are having an amazing time. There are allies there too, you know, but I mean, you're a queer church that also brings us entertainment. Like, you don't usually get that. And I'm going to correct you where you said some people like to come to church and, you know, and they want to laugh at other times. I've been to your services. You laugh at your services.
It's true.
You sing at your services. You feel welcomed and loved at also Sunshine Cathedral services that are 2 services on Sunday mornings, just in case you didn't know. But for Amy Armstrong, I'll definitely get my tickets because it's going to be a lot of fun. Boys, in for some fun, for some comedy, for some singing.
But I think, you know, I've been to the service on a few occasions, and I truly enjoy it because it's not, and I don't want to be the black sheep here, but it's not just gay. It's church for everyone.
I love that.
Doesn't matter who you are and who you sleep with and who you love and who you date. It's for everyone. And these events are equally for everyone. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few gay comments in there, especially when you have a few drag queens like Latrice. But, you know, it is what it is. But people are free to be who they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
End of sentence. You know, and it's fun.
100%. 100%.
I think nowadays we need this more than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? With
Lord help
everything
us.
going on, people are searching for a place where they can just be, you said,
Right.
where they can just breathe. If that means laughing, if that just means being a community, right now we're telling everybody, find spaces to be in community
Yep.
because it will make you feel better.
Yep.
Because we can't change all the things we'd like to change at once, but we can put in some buffer zones. And this
Right.
sounds like a
Right.
great one.
But at the
This
same
sounds
time,
like a
because
great
everyone can come together, it's nice to know that you have allies in
Yes.
politics as well as in religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for our community right now, existence is resistance. So
Absolutely.
anytime there's a queer thing, a parade, a church service, a party, a show, be part of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Existence is resistance.
It
Now put
is.
that on a shirt,
It
baby.
is.
I love that.
Yes.
That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts on March 22nd. Next up, let's welcome anchor Paul Thomas. He's a member of the LGBTQ Plus Advisory Committee to the City of Miami Beach. He's on the board of directors for the Point Foundation and also on the endorsement committee for SAVE. Paul, Hedwig and the Angry Inch screening is at Stonewall Museum on March 13th. Tell me what's happening.
On March 13th, 2025, the iconic rock musical film Hedwig and the Angry Inch will be screened as part of the Movie Night series at Stonewall National Museum and Archives and Library. The event will begin at 6:30 p.m. and is organized in collaboration with Out South Florida, celebrating LGBTQ culture and stories. Directed by and starring John Cameron Mitchell, the 2001 film follows the journey of Hedwig, a transgender punk rock singer from East Berlin who undergoes a botched sex change operation and forms a band to tour the United States. For more information, visit stonewall-museum.org. You know, this movie originally was out in 2001.
Okay.
And I'm always happy when they kind of bring these subjects back and they bring them back for that next generation. And I think in today's times, especially when, I mean, people are so fascinated with trans people that they cannot stop talking about them, and not in a positive way. So my thing is, hey, if they're going to bring this movie back, and if it's a chance to really have these conversations again, to highlight them again, to kind of show how people are responding to this situation, I think all the better for the community. You know, one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to hide, we don't want to disappear. We want to have these conversations and have people find that space, that community, where they can have them. So I'm all for it. I haven't seen that movie. I don't know how long ago was 2001. I'm getting old.
24 years
Yeah,
old.
I'm getting old. That was a while ago.
Well,
But I'm glad it's back.
It's important that it's also at the Stonewall, which I'm grateful that the Stonewall is doing their history bit, because we need to educate.
Absolutely.
Especially, and I know I'm sounding like an old whatever, but you know, a lot of the younger kids just don't understand. Even 2001. I mean, I'm 60, so I was in the 80s, and I was fighting the AIDS routine, and I was, you know, and here in 2001, this Brave movie came out. It was an under budget, no nothing budget, 10 movie theaters kind of thing in the whole country. So for the younger kids to see, even if this is a somewhat mythical story, you know, just to understand what 2001 was like, and then to get into the Stonewall and go, we have this resource here?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Why do I not know
great.
about this?
Right.
Why
It's
am
a
I not
win-win.
why am I not a member of this?
Yep, and that's what Robert
So-
Keston wants to do, right? With stuff like this, he wants to make those conversations happen. Excuse me. He's not just gonna put on this movie and that's it. You know what I mean? That will bring up conversations, right? Again, the movie is about a botched surgery, right? Someone who wants to transition and has to go through this horrific experience, right? It's not a pretty thing
because they can't get it.
because
they
there was no
can't get
access
it.
to it. Sound
Right.
familiar?
Yeah.
You know what I
No
mean?
hormone therapy, no counseling. Just boom.
Just boom. You know, and the lasting effects that did, you know, this movie, I don't remember when it came out, but I remember it becoming a cult classic in community almost overnight, where it was, you have to see this, right?
Well, it's queer cinema.
You know, it is queer cinema. And then they put it on a stage, and I got to see it as a theatrical piece as well. You know, I love Robert Keston and all he does. He just recently had Bruce Villanger over there. He always has like fun people that are part of our LGBTQ plus history.
Yeah.
You know?
I think anytime there's a chance for somebody to sit and go, that's me.
Yeah.
Like to watch something that's
Representation.
provocative,
Yep.
and they can identify with it, and maybe then that'll give them whatever they need to kind of take that next step, to ask that next question.
Right. And to also know
I
you're
think
not
it's
alone.
important.
That's
Yeah.
the biggest
That's
thing in
the thing.
community. You know what
And this-
happens? That we think that we're alone.
The story is dated and super relevant for now.
Right.
Like, so this is this botched surgery and someone trying to get out of the, but it's interesting that right now, when trans people are so under attack, and in the movie, this trans experience is how he gets freedom, or how we would probably say she or they now gets freedom, because this is how they get out of the country into the, this is still during the communist, you know, the Iron Curtain or whatever. And so the transition brought freedom, and which it's meant to do anyway. Like, when you get to be your authentic self, that's meant to bring freedom. So there's a great metaphor in that, even though I'm not sure that was the original intent, but it certainly is relevant right now.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing to Queer News Tonight. And we look forward to seeing you at Hedwig and the Angry Inch screening at Stonewall Museum on March 13th. Next up, let's welcome anchor Buddy Frey. He supports many of South Florida's local nonprofit organizations like J4, Julian's Fountain of Youth, and the Stonewall National Library Museum. Buddy, Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce brings American Idol's David Hernandez to Spring Garden Party at Islands Inn on April 26th. Tell me what's happening.
Well, Faye, the Greater Fort Lauderdale LGBT Chamber of Commerce will host the second annual Spring Garden Party on April 26th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Islands Inn on the Drive by Le Chateau. The event will feature live music, an open bar, delicious hors d'oeuvres, and a VIP experience for an unforgettable evening. American Idol's top 12 finalist David Hernandez, remember him? Known for his powerful voice and magnetic stage presence, will perform live at the event. General admission tickets are available for $150 for members and $200 for non-members, while VIP tickets range from $250 to $300. Early bird tickets are available until March 15th, offering a $25 discount. For more details, visit gogayfortlauderdale.com. You know, anytime the chamber does something, it's always a good event. So I'm excited to hear this. And it's kind of nice to see David Hernandez. I mean, it's been a number of years since I've watched him on the show.
He grew up hot.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a reason to go, but he grew up really hot.
It's not a reason to go.
Right.
It's like a bonus. It's like a bonus. You get to support the chamber, and oh, by the way, you get to drool a little.
Yes. Well, we have to give a big shout out going out to Jason Nunez, who was just recently appointed over at GFLGLCC. Sorry, okay, the acronym always gets me. And he's doing big things, and so he allowed us to do a big announcement on 2 people. Right, one organization and one person who will be receiving awards at the garden party on March 26th. So let me tell you who they are. Drum roll, right? For your your Champion Award for Corporate Engagement, all right? This award honors a corporation that has demonstrated a deep and sustained commitment to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. And this award goes to Holy Cross Health. And we couldn't be happier for Kim, Jason, Vaughn, Biggs over there at Holy Cross. You kids are incredible for all you do, and I can't wait to see you accept your award. The next award, the GFLGLCC Hero Award, is the highest honor given to an individual whose legacy of advocacy, support, and leadership has left an enduring mark on the LGBTQ plus community. This honoree has demonstrated unapparelled commitment to equality, shaping a better future for generations to come through years of tireless work and dedication. And the honoree at the Spring Garden event who is going to win this award is none other than our own Sean Palacios. Kitty Meow will be accepting that award for the GFLGLCC Hero Award 2025.
Nice.
Yay!
Congratulations to everyone.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I think now community really needs to pay attention to these chambers. We need to pay attention to the businesses that are staying with us, the businesses that are continuing to support us, I've heard that a lot of businesses are backing out on prides. And businesses that are continuing to support DEI, right? And making sure that we know who they are so that we can continue to support them. And those that aren't able to, we need to be aware. We need to be aware so we can pressure them or maybe talk to them, have conversation with them about how important it is.
And we need to shop local and shop gay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And shop right.
And go to these networking events,
That's
right?
right.
Because that's where you're going to meet the other people that are doing the same thing, right? By collaboration is how we're going to get ahead, kids. If we're not unified, we are screwed.
Right.
And if I understand, for every dollar spent in the gay community, it multiplies by 7.
That's a good fact
So,
to have.
Yeah.
That's an important fact to know.
Because we each have 7 boyfriends and girlfriends and days and them.
Well, you can spend it however you want, but it multiplies by 7 from what I understand.
The thing is, our community brings in a lot of money. And the problem is we don't always know what happens to the money. Most of our LGBTQ organizations tend to be underfunded, right? And I think we really need to be more aware of and on top of and going to chamber events and really asking that next question, like, hey, how many people on your board are part of the community? What type of programming are you doing? If we don't do it, no one's going to do it for us.
Got to ask the question. For sure. So that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing to Queer News Tonight. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Spring Garden Party at Islands Inn on April 26th.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. I've always wanted to do that. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Now, Faye, pet lovers can support rescue pets by purchasing succulents on March 16th from Mom's Garden. So tell me, what's happening?
I'm so happy to tell you, boys. Listen, animal lovers out there, hear my call, okay? Here's a great way to give back by purchasing beautiful succulents and adopting your new best friend at Wolf and Wag in Miami, Sunday, March 16th, starting at 4 p.m. Mom's Garden is one of the vendors at It's a Party, St. Patrick's adoption event at Wolf and Wag, Miami, 12350 Southwest 46th Street in Miami. Each succulent from Mom's Garden comes with a customized charm, with options like a dog bone, a paw print, or even a personalized name. Portion of all sales from all the vendors, including food vendors, pet vendors, goes to Paw Patrol, Animal Rescue, and Sanctuary. It is a pet rescue after my own heart. It's also an adoption event, so come adopt your new best friend or put in an application to foster. Proceeds will help provide food, shelter, and medical care for rescue animals at Paw Patrol Rescue and Sanctuary. For more information, visit Paw Patrol Rescue and Sanctuary on all social media outlets or follow me on all social media. I'll be volunteering at the vet. See you there, March 16th. It's a party. St. Patrick's Day adoption event at Wolf and Wag on March 16th, 4 p.m. See you then. Listen, you boys know that, like, you know, dogs have a special place in my heart. During my cancer, during my addiction time, like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the four-legged friends that we call family. And so Paw Patrol is an incredible rescue, and they're having this event in Miami. And, you know, you can buy a succulent, and a portion of it goes to Paw Patrol. You know, it's no secret that everything is super expensive. And one of the outreach programs that Paw Patrol does is that they help seniors, help them with dog food, helps them with services, helps them drive their pets to the vet visits if they can. I mean, you know, nobody should have to pick between their meds, their food, or feeding their dog. You know, and now more than ever, so many people are giving up their dogs because they can't afford them, because life happens, because, you know, we're in a real place right now, you know, and Paw Patrol is a 24-hour-a-day place. You know, Christy and her helpers, they're all volunteers, and they work from out of here in Fort Lauderdale. They also do some Miami stuff, and they're just incredible people. Everybody at this table are dog lovers. Yep. You know, we've all seen the sad posts that people put, you know, when they found their dog and, you know, they don't know what to do with the dog. And, you know, Paw Patrol takes over when that happens. And it's just such an incredible organization, you know.
I've been rescued by 2 cats and by 1 dog. And the dog is still with us. I'm still with her. So yeah, these rescue animals do become family. And it's a great way. If you've never experienced unconditional love or had the chance to give, this is your chance. Yeah. This is your chance. I'm a better person because of the 4-legged creatures in my life. In fact, the best people aren't.
Well, look,
So true.
I had 3 rescues. I'm down to 2 rescues, and they're not my family. They're my boss. I pay their mortgage. I pay their food. I pay their medical.
Yeah.
100.
You know, I'm waiting for them to do the laundry just once. But you know,
Make a snack. It's gonna be a long wait.
Right?
but they are important. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they own me. They're waiting at home, so it is what it is.
I have 2 as well, and it's interesting because I had never had 2 dogs before. I always had one, but I had never had 2. One of my neighbors kept saying, you know, you work a lot, you should get a second dog to keep your dog company. And I thought, that sounds so nice, like in theory.
Yeah.
And then it just so happened that I got a text one day from somebody who saw a dog tied up to a wall in Miami. It was pouring rain. They said, you have to come save this dog. Next thing you know, I ended up with 2 dogs. Now, 7 years later, I couldn't imagine not having 2 dogs.
100%.
Like, the first week or 2, it was like, how do I walk 2 dogs? And now it's like, I couldn't imagine not having 2 dogs.
Yes.
And the craziness that ensues.
Yeah, that, but also, you know, it makes me feel better when I leave, like now. They will entertain themselves, and I don't have to worry that one of them is home alone or one of them is, you know, they will entertain themselves until I get there.
Well,
and it's nice to know they have company.
And how about that when you get home? All right, don't you feel like a celebrity
Like
whenever you get home? Because I know
true.
I do. Whenever it's like, oh,
It's
Faye, you're a
true.
celebrity. I'm a celebrity at home.
Right.
Okay, when I get home, it's like,
God.
Faye, you're here, you're here.
Even if it's 2 hours that you're not home, you walk back in and it's like,
Que tu habla, Paul. You went outside to throw something out.
Exactly.
When you came back in, and it's like, oh my God, you're back, you're back. You know, there is no love like the
That's
love of
right.
a pet
That's
or
right.
you know, a cat, dog, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, and find your happy companion at this event.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Wolf and Wag Miami on Sunday, March 16th.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up lesbian and queer women. Rikki's, San Francisco's new women's sports bar to open up in the Castro. For the first time in more than a year, Queer News Tonight is reporting a new women's bar in the U.S. In San Francisco, a city renowned as a gay mecca, there's one glaring gap: women's bars. With only 2 in the city serving a lesbian clientele, Sarah Jurgovich and Danielle Tho are stepping up to the plate. The 2 met while playing soccer with the San Francisco Spikes, and now they're kicking off their own venture, Rikki's, a women's sports bar in the Castro, opening in May on Market Street. Rikki's will be the first space for women in the area in decades, and the partners are eager to make an impact. Despite not having a hospitality background, Sarah works in marketing and Danielle is in affordable housing. Their combined expertise, along with an advisory group of industry veterans, has already raised hundreds of thousands in funding. During a recent chat with LGBTQ Nation, Sarah and Danielle revealed that the idea for Rikki's sparked during a casual soccer game conversation. Rikki's isn't just a bar. It's a community space that will serve as a hub for women and non-binary fans of sports. Danielle says, quote, "We want people to feel like they can gather here after their own games," end quote. Named after the late Rikki Streicher, who helped establish iconic women's bars, Maud's and Amelia's, Rikki's is paying tribute to those lost spaces. The bar will highlight women's sports, a field that's gaining momentum with teams like the Valkyries in the WNBA and Bay FC in the NWSL. As they prepare to open, Sarah and Danielle are making their mark with a community-driven approach, funding from friends, family, and 222 investors via WeFunder. Well, so I give a big shout out to Sarah and Danielle for doing this. It's a long time coming, you know. I met many of my future ex-wives at bars on Market Street in the Castro. The cafe was one of my favorite places in the world, and it was very women-centric, but it was also, like very gay-centric all along. So I love that they're opening a place for women. I lived in San Francisco for about 3 years, and something different about San Francisco as opposed to Wilton Manors is that the girl bars had boys in it. Right? Mm-hmm. Like for whatever reason, the girls and the boys partied together in San Francisco. I think they were maybe just a little ahead of us here in Wilton Manors. We're here now, you're seeing that more girls go into the boy spaces and vice versa, and it's more inclusive to accommodate all the letters in our acronym, I hope one thing is that I really hope that they have the support. They say that they have advisors, that they have a board of advisors. Things like that are important. So places like this don't close after a year. They say most businesses have no money, to really have to have enough money to get through 3 years of operating, right? And that means all overhead, all of that. That's very difficult, and that is way more than just a couple $100,000 that would make that happen,
But it's important that they have 222 supporters and it's still growing, and we listed the funding organization so that anyone who's watching, if you want to invest, even if it's just a few bucks, drop them a line. I'm sure they would be welcome to having even more people support them, and I think we should.
Yeah.
We have one gay bar, one lesbian bar in Wilton Manors, and that's sort of
any.
Yeah, well,
we don't have a lesbian bar.
But what about the one across from Rosie's? Lit?
Yeah,
I heard,
not a lesbian bar.
Okay, so then
no. 9F is a restaurant owned by a lesbian.
Yeah, Carol and her. Yeah, but
and trust me, if you go into 9F, it's a party. So you could go in there and have a great time.
And Carol's been instrumental in this town for
100%,
decades.
100%, 100%. And they have She Life events that has Friday night lesbian parties at the Well.
Yes.
And Lit Bar is very, 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 very lesbian friendly and very, very inclusive
But we need more women. We need more spaces for women because the lesbian community is the invisible tribe on the alphabet. They're there. We know it. We just don't always see it.
Yeah. I wish them well. I hope people go.
Yeah.
I hope people start to realize the value of that in-person community again, and that they start really seeking out those safe spaces, those places for community, and they really get the enjoyment that we used to get.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember younger, you just couldn't, you didn't realize you weren't breathing until you got in the door, and it was like,
and you were excited.
Oh, yeah, and you could just kind of be
they didn't always
yourself.
have names on the doors.
Right,
You just had to know what the door was.
You had to know where to go. Yeah. So I hope people go. I hope they take advantage, and I hope they start to reconnect in that way. Because I think finances and lots of different things have happened to push people away from in-person spaces.
Well, the damn phones and all the apps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
But
So
without the
I
support,
hope
they
we
won't
get that back.
But our bars,
Right.
in our history, gay bars, trans bars, lesbian bars, mixed bars, those are sacred spaces. That's where people, that they felt safe, they could be themselves. And there's another word for holiness, it's authenticity. So when you get to be all of who you are, that's wholeness, that's holiness. So these are sacred spaces, this is sacred ground. And so I'm always sad when they don't make it, and I'm always excited when there's a new one trying. So however we can support all of these that pop up. If nothing else, when you go to, and everyone goes to San Francisco, you know, visit this bar.
Yeah, or at least follow it in social media, right? Drop a couple bucks into their fundraising bit, right? Do whatever it is that you can to help, because again, everybody needs to put their money where their mouth is. If you've got the money, right, in LGBTQ and allyship, support LGBTQ, because we have to. It's necessary. It's a necessity to have our own space.
I encourage everyone to go to the website and buy one beer. Pay for one beer or one drink that you would spend locally. Put that same dollar amount on that website
I
and
love
watch
that.
them.
One beer on
great
South
idea.
Beach. One beer on South Beach is about $24. All right. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's deep dive into this big LGBTQ story for today. I am Bishop Durrell Watkins, and let's queer up the worldview. U.S. added to CIVICUS Watchlist amid threats to civil liberties. In a significant development, the United States was added to the CIVICUS Monitor Watchlist on Sunday. CIVICUS, a network of civil society organizations like Amnesty International, voiced concerns over President Donald Trump's approach to democratic norms and global cooperation, calling it an assault on these principles. CIVICUS pointed to Trump's actions, such as slashing over 90% of foreign aid contracts, and his executive actions targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, programs. Mandeep Twana, interim co-secretary general of CIVICUS, criticized these measures, saying, quote, "The Trump administration seems hell-bent on dismantling the system of checks and balances, which are the pillars of a democratic society," end quote. Twana called for the U.S. to, quote, "uphold the rule of law and respect constitutional and international human rights norms," end quote, emphasizing that Americans across the political spectrum are disturbed by what they see as undemocratic actions from the current administration. The White House, however, has rejected CIVICUS's assessment, with Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly dismissing it as, quote, "nonsense," stating that President Trump is leading the most transparent administration in history. You know, the brother of Jesus, his name was James. He was the leader of the church at Jerusalem in the first century. And he often said to the Apostle Paul, "Motherfucker, please." The most transparent. Can you stand it? So anyway, I can't stand it. When the country, who in our lifetimes was steeped in apartheid, when they say y'all are all kinds of wrong, that's a beat. That's a flag on the play. We should listen to me about lesbian restaurants. That is a flag on the play. We need to stop and take a look at that. So it's really quite embarrassing that our national myth has always been that we're the leaders of freedom, and the reality is now hitting us in the face that we are actually quite behind.
Yeah, very behind. Isn't that crazy though? We used to be respected by other countries. We were thought of as safe haven where anybody can run to, right? And now that's not the case. Everybody has a huge target on their back. If it's not trans, it's healthcare, it's Medicare, it's the HIV/AIDS cuts. It's just
cancer research.
It's cancer research. It's getting it from all angles.
Yeah.
You know, before we were the laughing stock of the world. Now people are more like, oh God, you know, they're fearful. They feel bad for us now.
What about us?
You know, there were some things in our democratic society that were just different than any place else on the globe. And those differences made it a special place. And even though it's been a struggle and a battle, right, to try to obtain civil rights for all, the possibility was there because that foundation and that formation and those democratic norms were there. There was always the possibility that we could take one more step. When Amnesty International and these organizations come out and go, you've gone into the danger zone, it's really, it's dangerous for all of humanity. America is already the global leader. We're already the country that's able to be all across different countries, bringing medical aid and bringing life-saving cancer treatments and different things. We already do that.
For other countries.
For everybody on the globe. We're known to be the leader in negotiations. When you have that position, it's very, very important position, and for you to take it seriously. I'm really worried about, I think people don't understand, and you probably do, I think people don't understand the fragility of humanity. It is not guaranteed that we get to be here for much longer.
Wow.
It won't take a virus much more deadly than COVID to wipe us all out.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take much. There's no promises. And I think for the United States to be in this position, that these organizations have to come out and go, hey, they're not doing it for politics.
No.
They're doing it because the survival of humanity is on the line.
Wow.
Because if we're not watching these viruses, if we're not on top of these diseases, if we're not all working together at this stuff, we're all going to go down.
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to go down. These things don't care about your politics.
No.
They don't care about borders. They don't care about how much money you have. They don't care about
think about it. Think about it.
Be smart.
We have a measles case in Miami, right?
Measles.
We have more than one.
More than one now. Okay, more than one now. No, but you're right. You know what I mean? But these are our current fears, Paul, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're going to cut this aid to global, right, help when it comes to HIV and AIDS, right? How about if a new strain comes up and then comes on over? That is a possibility.
Which it will.
Oh my God, Paul!
Because that's how viruses work.
It's not easy for those organizations to come out and say the things that they're saying, and they're not saying it against his politics. They're saying it because humanity itself is going into a danger zone of, like, we don't get to survive if we don't do this, guys.
Okay, but at the same time, democracy is fragile, and we've always known that. We're at the point at 250 plus years that we're like in the terrible teens. You know, we're acting out. We're being difficult. We're being snotty. We're being rude. And I think that the current 60 days that the Donald Trump administration, and it hurts me to say those words, Donald Trump, is that it's transactional. It's all about dollars and cents. It's all about money. It's not about lives. It's not about ethics. It's not about morality. It's not about fairness. It's about, I want to spend this much and you get none of that. However, since democracy is fragile, the last 2 weeks where people, especially the Republican Party, have gone, whoa, 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 I didn't realize this, the chainsaw effect that you're going to do, and you're just not going to have the Department of Education, you're not going to have the Department of this, you're not going to...
I didn't know it's going to affect me.
Well, yes,
This is what
we
people
got
say.
a little greedy, and it's all self-centered, but at the same time, I think people are also paying attention going, this does impact me, but it also impacts 150,000 other people in my community, or 500,000 people. Look at Nebraska. The entire state's going, holy crap, what the hell happened? So I think because democracy is fragile, and we've been blessed to teach all these other groups and all these other countries what democracy is, that they're now bringing us back into line saying, hey, wait a minute, this is a checks and balance system here. You supported us for 50 years, 100 years. You taught us what democracy is about. We follow it. Now it's our turn to help you come back. And maybe this is a warning sign, and I'm taking it as a warning sign. But I also am hoping to God that in the next year, things calm down and people start realizing that this can't be a dollars and cents economy. This, process. This has to be, we have to remember how.
Well, that's not what a government is. And
I know that you know that.
saying it should be run like a business. I'm like, it should
But business
not.
and government are two different things.
Humans involved.
That's not what its responsibility is.
And that's my point, that the government is about resources. It's not about dollars and cents as a business was. It's not about widgets. It's not about products sold, products spent. It's about people's lives and the fairness of the community.
And one of the responsibilities of government is the safety of its
Yes,
citizens.
exactly.
And so when you
And
take
welfare
away,
is part of democracy.
absolutely.
It's not just a tyranny of the majority.
No, that's
it's,
right.
It's also making sure that everyone is taken care of, that no one's left out.
And that means everyone. not just the
recognizing,
people that are unwoke.
right. I mean, COVID was supposed to be that great teacher, right?
Wow.
It was like,
You
it
went there,
doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have. I know billionaires that died because they were putting anti-COVID stuff and anti-vaccine stuff on their Facebook pages, and they wouldn't go in for treatment, and they died at home because the virus doesn't care.
No, it
like the
doesn't care
virus
how much
doesn't
money you
care
got.
about.
It doesn't
Don't make judgments.
And,
But this
Yeah.
story,
but did we learn the lesson?
No.
Did we learn the lesson?
but this story still has hope because, again, we taught these countries in this organization what democracy is hopeful for and how it does
Yes.
work. So the fact that they're putting us in check in a polite little manner, even if the
Yeah.
current administration is ignoring it and spinning it,
Of course.
doesn't mean that we as a community, we have the
We the
power,
people
we the people
the power.
can bring this back. And that's why, even if it's a pain in the ass and I'm depressed half the time and I don't want to get out of bed, I still have hope that in the next 11 or 12 months we can get this back on track.
We the people can do it.
We
A
the
third of
people.
the electorate did not vote.
Remember that.
I know.
More people didn't vote.
Then-
than-
yes.
Than they did.
All it takes, I mean, one got 32%, one got 31%, 36%.
Stayed
Didn't
home.
Yeah, zero got that. The
Yeah.
36%. So
Yeah.
all we ever have to do is just show up on election day.
That's
we
it.
can change
And
this
we can
in
still
the
do
midterms.
this.
And we can
In the
still
We
do
can
But
it.
will
change
we?
it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Wow.
with
Three
a special
special
election.
elections.
That's true. But keep your, yeah, no, that's true.
So-
On April 1st,
Just
we can
vote.
change it all.
We can start to change it all.
That's right.
you
That's
know?
right. The power
Well,
is us.
That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Paul Thomas, and let's queer up gay culture. Sniffies launches iOS app. Will it challenge Grindr's dominance? In the world of gay cruising apps, Grindr has long been the dominant player, but there's a new contender making waves, Sniffies. Known for its unique map-based system, Sniffies is now making the jump from web browser to iPhone with a brand new app that experts believe could challenge Grindr's reign. Unlike traditional dating apps, Sniffies allows users to see other active members in their area through an interactive map. This real-time feature lets users appear as discreet, anonymous icons, providing an element of privacy while making connections easier. Now, with the release of the iOS app, cruising just got a whole lot more convenient. However, Sniffies' signature anonymity has been compromised a bit in the transition. To use the app, users must create profiles using common provider emails like Gmail or Yahoo, a shift from the web-based version, which required a birth year for access. The app also opens in what's called vanilla mode, which restricts users from accessing more explicit content. The app's long-awaited launch wasn't an easy feat. Sniffies' chief marketing officer, Eli Martin, told Fast Company, quote, "There was certainly back and forth with the App Store and figuring out how to make it work on both ends. It took way longer than we thought, but it seems like Apple was very open to us being a part of the store as long as we could meet the guidelines," end quote. This app's debut is a major step in expanding Sniffies' reach, offering greater access to the connections users desire while maintaining its core web experience. So, can we say Sniffies is set to challenge Grindr? You know, I was at an event, like a healthcare event, working, and everyone was in a circle. And I was like, what's going on? Because I'm old and I never know what's going on. And they're like, oh, we're on Sniffies and like that other picnic. It was like a daytime picnic and I went to do health stuff. And they're like, that other group over there, all these people are on. And I'm like, what is a Sniffy? What is going on?
Well, now you know.
So they showed me, right? Yeah, it was pretty interesting because it was anonymous. You didn't, I mean, there were these little, and they were like, that person's right there, that person's over there. And I thought, wow, this is kind of freaky because now people know like where you're standing. Like, what if they're not,
20 feet
you
away.
know what I
But
mean?
Grindr gave you that option too.
Did it?
You know, give me back my Grindr, by the way.
I don't know. It seems like they really, really liked the whole knowing where people were on the map thing.
But it's funny to me because I remember when you could be a sniffy for real. You just walked up and sniffed somebody. Like it was a person. Like you didn't need a machine to say where somebody was. You would just go. And
Not anymore. Not anymore. Now you need to know that they're 10 feet away and that they're ready to sniff you back. Right? That's,
Why can't you just go to a bar and go, okay, we're all here?
right?
Yeah.
Or a gym or
It doesn't work that way anymore,
Softball,
right?
right?
You know, so Grindr has millions and millions of users. I don't remember the exact number, all right, but so much so that it almost crashed during the RNC. You guys remember
Right.
that, right? You know, so but
Those holier
Grindr,
than thou
I
RNC.
love that so much.
but Grindr has had its fallbacks, unfortunately, right? One of the past presidents, his name was Scott Chen. He had posted on Facebook once about how he believed that marriage should be between a man and a woman, right? And that kind of made a lot of the gay boys go, well, F you. And some of them left Grindr and went on to Sniffies, you know? So Sniffies is getting a lot of momentum, but I want to know more about this vanilla mode. I just thought that like vanilla mode was like you going after white people, like on your thing. I didn't know, right? It was like, I like my stuff vanilla.
It's
That's what, you know
pumpkin
what I mean?
spice for the sex
Pumpkin
crowd.
spice. Yeah.
I mean, competition is supposed to be good, right? So if there's somebody coming on this scene that's going to make Grindr be
Yep.
better or
Yep.
make themselves
Yeah.
be
Yep.
better or
Yep.
make this whole experience
I want the cathedral in
better
on this.
than-
That gave me an idea for some apps. I think we should start Spankies
Ooh, I like
and
Spankies.
Kinkies and as a
Ooh.
fundraiser for Jesus. We'll do that for
as
Jesus.
a fundraiser. I
For the
love
church, yeah.
that.
Fundraiser for
Kinkies and
Jesus.
Spankies. That's
Pinkies
ours.
and
Nobody else.
Stinkies and stinky pinkies, something like that. I love it all.
Just have to always be better.
One last thing, Grindr has always been like the go-to for most people to hook up, right? And now they're kind of changing how they present themselves. They want to be known more as a social networking app, okay? And the reality is that boys just want to bang. You know what I
Right.
mean? And Sniffies is still giving you that.
Bathhouses were for showering.
Well,
Bathing.
I know it
You
sounds
showered
like,
there?
but it sounds like you have to not get vanilla mode to get that
To get
part.
everything.
And I'm sure
Yes.
that costs you $29.99 a month. It's
Probably.
ridiculous.
To get the vanilla mode?
No,
Well,
no.
it
to get the-
opens in vanilla mode.
But I'm amazed at how much Grindr Faye knows more than I'm just right.
I know. I'm learning. I'm sitting here.
I don't know how
Really?
there's
I've
no-
never had a dating app. I've been married so long. I've never had.
I-
I'm from before.
exactly.
I'm from before
But you've
that.
been married happily,
Yeah,
so why
25
would you
years.
need it?
Exactly.
No, all my gay boys are on Grindr, and now they're all getting on Sniffies too. So I'll steal their phone and I'll
This-
make some
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah,
connections
yeah.
for them, and then be like, "Go! He's 25 feet away. Go!"
So you're the wing chick.
Again, since they took away my Grindr, give me back my Grindr. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Frey, and let's queer up the USA view. Trixie Mattel's co-owned bar, This Is It, closes after 57 years in Milwaukee. This Is It, the oldest gay bar in Wisconsin, is permanently closed, marking the end of an era for Milwaukee's LGBTQ community. The bar, which has stood since 1968, was co-owned by George Schneider and drag superstar Trixie Mattel. The news came as a shock to many fans who didn't realize that the establishment was in danger of shutting down. Founded by June Brem and her son Joseph, This Is It was Wisconsin's longest-running gay bar. George Schneider, who first worked at the bar as a bartender in 2010, became its owner in 2012. And despite his best efforts to expand and improve the bar, including a significant investment in 2019, the business faced significant challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic and just never quite fully recovered. In 2021, Trixie Mattel came in. She's also a Milwaukee native. She stepped in as co-owner, helped the bar survive during those difficult times. After years of financial struggle, including the impact of some local construction projects and pandemic restrictions, Schneider has closed its doors for good on March 9th. The closure marks the end of what was more than just a nightlife venue. It was a beloved gathering place and a safe space for the queer community. In a heartfelt social message on social media, Schneider expressed his deep sadness and gratitude. Trixie also posted a tribute sharing her memories of the bar as the first queer space she ever visited. 57 years, that's something to be proud of, but I'm just disappointed that I wish they had been comfortable enough to tell the community, we're struggling, we need your help, we need your support, we've been here forever. Please, don't let us die. And I'm just, it always disappoints me when the community is shocked, because it's like, well, what the hell have you been doing? You obviously haven't been going to the bar.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, are there other bars there, or was
Milwaukee's
this
a
the only
pretty
bar
major
left?
city, right?
Yeah, Milwaukee's it's pretty gay friendly,
yeah.
you know? But to have a bar that lasted 57 years and nobody know about it, you know what I mean? Like, I know that we did a story from the same table about Trixie Mattel taking time off because she was overwhelmed, because she had the motel going on, right? She's got a makeup line. She's got so many things going on. So maybe this fell to the wayside during that time, because again, it's Trixie freaking Mattel. You do a couple concerts at this bar, you're going to make the money that they need to stay open, right? So I honestly believe that there's just something there that we just don't know that wasn't part of the story, because like you said, tell people that we're in trouble, people are going to rally, especially if they've been around for that long and people remember it as their first queer space.
Especially old people.
Yeah.
I am 1 year older than that bar, and so I remember my first time at a bar. And it was magical. It was life-changing. And so if this was of course, that bar's dead too, by the way. But it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Well, the first bar I went to, I'm from St. Louis, was in St. Louis, and it was by the same gentleman who opened up. It was he moved it to Miami. Oh shoot, what is the name? I'm blanking out.
The Floppy Rooster.
No.
The honky.
No. It begins with a T.
Twist?
Twist. Twist started in St. Louis as an experiment.
I did not know that.
They're still here.
They are. The owner moved it here 20 years ago, and it's continued to go on. And I've been in it once or twice and went, this isn't St. Louis. This isn't what I remember. But, I just hope Twist never goes to that.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that there's still a space there in Milwaukee. Because we were just talking earlier about how important these spaces are. It's like, okay, this one fell through. Do people have a place to go? What is going on out there?
Right. But this is the time to go check out your local LGBTQ plus safe spaces and make sure that you're supporting them. That's what happens. They went through COVID. They went through renovations. Both of those things were not easy. And a lot of organizations, nonprofit and for-profit, that everybody at the table knows, never came back the same.
Right.
And in this day and age, being gay and having a safe space is as much a political statement as it is a life statement.
That's right.
It is 100%. This makes me sad. That is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up breaking news. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino announces major Pride Month drag brunch to benefit Pride Center June 1st. This evening, Hotspots Happening Out's Vice President of Community Development, Al Ferguson, has breaking news. On June 1st, the Pride Center at Equality Park and Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino team up to produce the first ever The Pride Center Honors and Hard Rock Drag Brunch to launch a very important June Pride Month. They will honor Ana Navarro, the ABC's The View co-host, and others with a spectacular drag brunch. He sat down moments ago to talk to Eric Eldridge from Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino and Robert Boo from the Pride Center to learn all the breaking news details. Watch this.
Hotspots Happening Out breaks the news this evening of a unique partnership with the legendary Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and the vitally important The Pride Center at Equality Park. Tonight, you're going to learn how community activism intersects with good old-fashioned fun with the Pride Center Honors and the Hard Rock Drag Brunch. The event will kick off June Pride Month on June 1st. The open bar and lavish buffet drag brunch will be a unique experience combined with the Pride Center Honors that will recognize the role of the Our Fund Foundation in South Florida, Nadine Smith's historic role for social justice as the founder of Equality Florida, and Ana Navarro, ABC's The View co-host, Ally Advocacy in America. Queer News Tonight believes this is the first time in the U.S. that a major drag brunch has included a major tribute to LGBT community leadership in the same program. To hear all about these exciting details, we have from the Seminole Hard Rock Special Events Director Eric Eldridge and the CEO of the Pride Center at Equality Park, Robert Boo. Welcome to Hotspots Happening Out's Queer News Tonight. And can I first say, wow, this is just an amazing concept. I never thought about the combination of community awards and a drag brunch. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. How did that happen?
Well, you know, at the Seminole Hard Rock, we had our very first drag brunch at the end of February. That was just an amazing success. And then we wanted to continue that going on, but we wanted to bring in, for Pride Month, the Pride Center as an amazing community partner. This year is 10 years we've been supporting Pride Center. And we want to bring them on. And then the Pride Center obviously brought in their amazing award ceremony that they're going to handle.
You know, Eric, before we get into the Pride Center honors, that's one of the things that's most interesting to me. A major international brand like the Hard Rock brands, and here, the Seminole Hard Rock, really our home Hard Rock in the entire world. What was the decision-making with the company to do something like a drag brunch when you did that in February?
Hard Rock as a whole has been having a lot of good luck with drag brunches. I mean, like, for example, our cafe in Vegas hosts Voss Events Drag Brunch, one of RuPaul fame.
RuPaul.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
You know, and nationwide, and worldwide actually, a lot of our Hard Rocks do host various versions of a drag brunch.
Yeah. But the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel is a whole different platform than that. To elevate a drag brunch to a platform of that size, were you scared when you said, let's do this?
Not really. I mean, Hard Rock as a whole has always been, for 53 years, I think now, love all, serve all was one of their first mottos. So they've always been in the community. They've never backed down from supporting the LGBTQ community. We put our first drag brunch out. We've obviously done a lot of LGBT galas throughout the years, but this is the first time we did, like, for our property, drag brunch. And we did very little advertising. We didn't need to. We sold out so quickly.
We're gonna talk a little bit more of telling you what is in store for you in June by looking at what happened in February. Robert, it's a great transition to ask you about the Pride Center's involvement. You've worked with diversity recognition programs for years at Seminole Hard Rock. This launch of the Pride Center Honors is a first of its kind for you. What was behind the decision-making of wanting to get involved with Seminole Hard Rock to do the Pride Center Honors?
Well, because the Hard Rock has been so supportive of the LGBT community and the Pride Center for, the past 10 years, when we were offered this type of an opportunity, especially in this environment when so many corporations are stepping back their support of the LGBT community, to have the Hard Rock just go full in and really embrace this and promote it and help us be a part of it, we're just grateful. We're just grateful.
You're reading my mind, because I was going to follow up very specifically with you as we continue to report at Queer News Tonight. We report corporate organizations like Target and Ford, Bud Light, the Kennedy Center, having the Gay Men's Chorus in Washington, etc. So much conversation on corporate responsibility and how diversity issues are affecting our communities. Then along comes Hard Rock and one of the nation's most important LGBTQ community centers. How did y'all make this very positive messaging work that the Pride Center and Seminole Hard Rock, in this era of what we're watching in diversity discussion, let's put it that way, in our communities, how did you find the path to go, no, this is the way for the path forward?
On our side, I think it was very easy. We've never stopped our support of the community, so I think that it was an easy conversation. It wasn't really much thought into it.
We need you on the board at Ford to go, wait, this is an easy conversation, like Costco and others.
It was a very easy conversation. Like, we sat down and in a matter of 15 minutes, I think, it was like, okay, we're going to do this. And they wanted us to be a part of it to kick off Pride Month. And so we thought, well, let's take advantage of this and do our first recognition of some local, state, and national folks who need to be lifted up and recognized.
It's a good segue also to specifically talk about the Pride Center Honors. As we are announcing this evening, WSVN's Deco Drive reporter, Alex Miranda, I love him, is going to host the awards program itself. The Art Fund Foundation will be honored for their South Florida work. Equality Florida's founder, Nadine Smith, is going to be honored for her work in Florida. And then in major news, Ana Navarra, co-host of ABC's The View, will be honored for her national work. Tell me about the honorees. Why the decision-making of the three, local, state, national, that makes sense. How did you fall into these choices?
So the Our Fund Foundation has grown literally over the last 10, 11 years out of a very small organization to what it is now, the second largest LGBT foundation in the country. And so they have been there.
Los Angeles is getting a little nervous.
Oh, I bet they are. I bet they are. But the Our Fund Foundation has been there for the LGBT community starting, with the pandemic. They were the first ones to reach out and say, hey, what do you need? What can we help you with? And then it has just continued to grow through all of the granting that they have done, especially last year when the Florida's legislature wiped out all of the arts and culture funding. Our fund came together, brought their donors together to help all of the arts organizations in Broward County in South Florida to help them fill that gap of the funding that was stripped away. And so it's just a natural fit because they are there for us, with us, and fighting the good fight with us. In regards to Nadine Smith, that again has been a no-brainer. Iconic. She has founded and grown Equality Florida. I participate on their statewide LGBT leaders Zoom meeting so we can get updated, help educate our staff, our community on all the activity that's going on in Tallahassee. And then with Ana Navarro, I love her. I've been following her on social media for years, and then to have her be one of the MCs at the National Democratic Convention. And she has a very, very long history of supporting the LGBT community ever since 2013, supporting marriage equality and taking stands against the Don't Say Gay, the drag bans, the book banning, the whole 9 yards. And so she's been there for our community, and she deserves to be recognized.
And let's face it, she's also a drag fanatic.
She is. Yes.
She's I think she's in the cast at our house. I'm not sure, but I think I've seen her perform. Speaking of that, let's zero right in on the Hard Rock Drag Brunch itself. They held the first one in February. The hotel hosted, as I said, the first ever. It was a sold-out event at the Hard Rock Drag Brunch. We believe at Queer News Tonight, we've done a lot of research on this. We believe it was the single largest drag brunch in South Florida history, which is amazing when you consider this is South Florida and drag. The upcoming one for June 1 to launch with the Pride Center Honors is going to be a star-studded drag show with nationally known entertainers. Of course, the announcement is exciting. The Daisy Dead Petals is going to be host. I reached out to Daisy talking about the uniqueness of this drag brunch to launch in Pride Month. And this is what she told me. She said, quote, Hard Rock is known for over-the-top amazingness with every show they bring to life. This drag brunch shows off a spectacular space, amazing sound and lights, and an incredible buffet brunch, and of course open bar. This show is getting the Hard Rock treatment. Daisy added in her quote to me, and when our community is honored with the Pride Center Honors, it is a statement that we're not going anywhere, end quote. Well, the over-the-top drag show features headline performers Christopher Peterson, representing Aquaplex in Key West, very famous show that he does. Michael Dean as Cher. I've never seen Michael do it. I can't wait to see that. Plus South Florida drag icons Velvet Lenore, Erica Norell, and Elia J. There's also going to be a show-stopping performance with a professional cast of dancers. The brunch, Eric, means lavish. February was literally from signage when you walked in the hotel to every step of the way. Check-in, the buffets, the seating, the lighting, the entertainment, the food quality. It's just completely over the top. You must be so proud of
I
what
appreciate it.
Seminole delivers.
I'm very proud of the team. You know, I work with a great team, and we pulled out all the stops. This coming up one in June is going to be amped up even more. So it's definitely going to bring it to a whole new experience. You know, it's going to be a bigger stage, bigger lights, bigger sound, you name it. So it's definitely not going to be missed. You know, we have a great brunch buffet, as you said. They went out. Our F&B team did a great job. All of our cocktails in June are going to be sponsored by Absolute Vodka. They've come on in a big way to sponsor the event, so that's great.
You know, I, for 7 years, was involved with RuPaul's Drag Race and worked with the entire team and queens all over the world. I have been to so many drag brunches I can't even tell you over the course of my life. It's really a unique experience to have the quality dedication to a drag brunch. We make the joke that, you know, we kind of put everything together, you know, with duct tape. Seminole Hard Rock in June, besides being the over the top, you're expecting the same kind of crowds. You're expecting a huge turnout. We
are expecting more.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, the Hard Rock Drag Brunch in February that I went to. Robert was at. Also, besides this over the top presentation I'm talking about, I couldn't help but notice how much participation and excitement came not just from the gay community, but from so many allies. There were so many allies in the room. It's interesting, right? Exactly what we want to celebrate in June Pride. We're one community. You must have been very proud of that.
Yeah, we were very excited. I mean, I was surprised when I looked at the ticket sales and walked in the room. I mean, we were probably 70% allies, I would guess.
Wow, that's
30,
just
somewhere in that vicinity.
That's just incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, and you expect for Pride Month the same kind of thing.
We're hopeful. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get the same treatment.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, the intersection of the Pride Center Honors and Seminole Hard Rock presenting this lavish drag brunch was not lost on the honorees. I reached out to two of the honorees to ask about their participation. And David Jobin from the Our Fund Foundation told Queer News Tonight this, quote, "The Our Fund Foundation is honored to be recognized at the very first Pride Center Seminole Hard Rock Drag Brunch, launching at exactly the right time as LGBTQ people, especially drag performers and gender non-conforming individuals, are facing heightened attacks. This award reaffirms the strength of our community's resilience and the urgent need to stand together to protect, uplift, and celebrate who we are," end quote. Nadine Smith, who I've known since the dawn of time from Equality, Florida, added this, quote, "It's an honor to be recognized alongside the incredible advocates and allies who make Florida's LGBTQ plus community stronger every day. In a year when our rights and basic dignity are under relentless attack, this recognition is not just a celebration, it's a call to action." She made special note of the timing of this program by saying, "Pride has always been about visibility, resilience, and unity, but it is also about our shared responsibility to protect and uplift one another. We all have a role to play in guiding a future where equality is not negotiable, and together we will keep fighting for a Florida that truly welcomes all and respects all of us." Boy, are those two challenges for you, the Pride Center and Seminole Hard Rock. You must be very proud of that call to action from your honorees.
Absolutely. And for all three of the honorees to accept right away and say, yes, we want to be a part of it, it was a huge compliment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, very, very happy, very proud, and really looking forward to what could be one of the largest drag brunches ever. So,
Eric, for you, corporate responsibility is one thing, but this is even more than that. This is a step that love for all is really a living embodiment.
Well, this is actually the first step in part of a bigger weekend for us. There's more announcements coming out. There's going to be more events surrounding that weekend. There's a big Pride kickoff coming very soon in the next week or two. More announcements coming out. So it's not just the Pride Center brunch, which is amazing, which is going to be our focus and our feature, but there is going to be a whole weekend of events surrounding this.
Yeah, Seminole, Hard Rock. Let's see, what else happens in June? Oh, yeah, Stonewall Pride.
Stonewall Pride.
All right, well, I'll pretend I know nothing. All right. I'm curious, last question to both of you. This kickoff of this very first unique example of the Pride Center Honors and the Hard Rock Drag Brunch, on June 2nd, the second day of Pride Month, what do you hope that the event has accomplished?
I personally hope that it has brought awareness to the rest of the community that, yes, we are here, we are visible, we will not go back into the closet, and that we are supporting all of the entertainers and performers that do this type of work, not only here in South Florida, but across the country, that have had very harsh bans and hateful rhetoric said about them. And so we need to lift up the light, lift them up, support them, and say, yes, we're here, we're queer, we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. And Eric, for you, June 2nd, you hope?
Well, I mean, there's two folds to that. Obviously, we want to raise as much money as we can for the Pride Center to help their fight.
That's our top goal.
That's the top goal. However, one thing I think that's special about an event like this, being a drag brunch, and it's not a gala, for example, is it attracts the allies, as you were talking about. It attracts other people that want to come and have a good time, party, and support, and tip, and all the money will be going back to the Pride Center, where sometimes where a gala, for example, people might think that it sounds boring or uninterested, where this is a party. Come out for a Sunday, you're supporting and having a good time.
Yeah, so well said. And that's why at the top, I say this is so unique in combining two goals that I don't think we've ever seen combined before. So there, you hear it. You don't want to miss this event. You can only say, I was there only once, in the first ever once. We are showing you the ticket information right now, and ticketing has just opened during our exclusive interview here at Queer News Tonight. I recommend you get your tickets right now. You're probably going to be a part of this really iconic event for June Pride Month. Eric Eldridge and Robert Boo, congratulations to both of you, and I know it's going to be a great way for all of us to celebrate June Pride.
That is the big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus and allied community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat. And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Bishop Durrell Watkins, Paul Thomas, and Buddy Frey, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative and being queer. Good night.